Hey.
Hey. Stepbrothers is a 2008 movie from John C. Reilly and Will Ferrell. It's basically about these two middle-aged men who are still living with their parents. The parents actually get married, and the two men are forced to live together and kind of get on. And due to their own sort of stupidity and stuff, the parents end up splitting up, and it's up to the brothers, then, you know, the stepbrothers, to reunite the parents together. So, yeah, this is the movie from the producers, or the people, whoever, who brought you Talladega Nights, Anchorman. And it's kind of different to a lot of Will Ferrell's movies, because normally with a Will Ferrell movie, he takes like a profession or a career or something and turns it into a movie. So he kind of did Anchorman, which was about anchormen. He did Talladega Nights, about like racing drivers. Blades of Glory, about ice skating. And the crappy one about basketball, Semi-Pro, which I hated. Luckily, this one's a lot better, and I think, personally, the reason I like this movie is the chemistry between Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly. They seem to be having a lot of fun making this movie, and at times it's kind of like, you feel like, as a viewer, you kind of feel like the third wheel, because these two guys are having loads of fun, and you kind of feel like, okay, you know, I want to laugh too. So there is parts of this movie that's kind of boring because of that. But it is very good. It is very funny. It's a lot funnier than a lot of Will Ferrell's recent stuff. And like I said, John C. Reilly I love. I think he's a hilarious man. I loved him in Walk Hard. I thought he was really good in that. I think it's just his face. He's got a really funny face, and I do like him. He is funny. Like I said, the movie is good. The ending is kind of weak. It doesn't really... It kind of... At the beginning, you kind of wonder where it's going, because it just keeps setting up loads of like scenes of the brothers either falling out or doing things that you know are going to go wrong, and it does play along with that for a while. Then when the parents split up, you kind of get where it's going, but the ending, like I said, is kind of weak. It does draw upon things that have happened, you know, previously, and there is a few throwbacks and stuff, but it's just not that strong of an ending. It's still really good, really funny. Definitely recommend this as a rental or, you know, a viewing or something. The extras on the DVD are really good. There's a full music video for the Boats and Hose music video they make in it, because basically there's one scene, John C. Reilly plays drums and he sings, and they kind of form this little group, but there's one very funny scene where Will Ferrell shouldn't be playing John C. Reilly's drums, and he does, and that's a good scene. But yeah, it's a really good film. The commentary on this is also really funny. They kind of do the first ever musical commentary for a film, so they kind of have this guy playing I don't know, a keyboard or something, and they sing along like the commentary, which is really cool. But yeah, it's produced by Judd Apatow, who, you know, has done loads of films lately, and it's directed by Adam McKay, who also did Talladega Nights, I think. So yeah, it's a good movie. I do recommend picking it up. I'd probably give it a 7 out of 10. Definitely one to watch. So, Stepbrothers. Rolla. Rock and Roller is a Guy Ritchie movie. It came out last year, and it stars quite a few people. Like a lot of sort of Guy Ritchie's films, he tends to have like quite a big cast, because he normally invokes like loads of characters and stuff in it. This one stars Gerard Butler, Thandie Newton, Jeremy Piven, Chris Bridges, and also Tom Wilkinson and Toby Kebbell. Yeah, straight off the bat I'm going to say this isn't Snatch. You know, Guy Ritchie has done some incredible Brit flicks in the past. He did Snatch, he did Lock, Stock. He also did Revolver, which wasn't quite as successful as the others, and people sort of saw him as going downhill at that point. They kind of thought he'd lost it. But this movie is a return to form, I think. But like I said, it's not the next Snatch. It is very good. And I think if he keeps doing this kind of movie, if he keeps to this sort of style, then I think he'll come back strong. But yes, anyway, I'm going to try and attempt to describe the plot, but it's very confusing. The movie kind of starts off by throwing you a shitload of confusing, backstabbing twists and deals gone wrong and stuff, and you kind of wonder what the hell's going on. But it all boils down to a guy played by Tom Wilkinson, who's kind of this big gangster. He's doing a deal with this Russian guy, I think, and he ends up, the Russian guy lends him his lucky painting, and the painting gets stolen by his son, who is a rock and roller. He's kind of this like drug addict kind of rock star, played by Toby Kebbell, and there's kind of like this whole thing about him trying to get the painting back. There's also this whole story about the Wild Bunch, which is this sort of gang of crooks, led by Gerard Butler, and they have their own kind of storyline which interweaves with the main story. There's loads of like storylines, and it's very confusing at the beginning, but then you kind of are like, okay, I'll get this now. But yeah, it's a very good film. I do want to mention, although Gerard Butler is kind of like the big face on all the DVD covers and the posters, he's not really that much. He is kind of the main character, but he's not like as big a part of the story as you'd perhaps expect. I think Toby Kebbell, who plays, I can't remember his name now, the character, he plays the rock and roller character, the gangster's son in this, is really good. He is excellent in this film. I do like Toby Kebbell. He was in Dead Man's Shoes, and he was the main character in The Wilderness, which is a Brit horror movie, which came out a couple of years ago. And I do like him. He's really good in this. And the good news is there is a sequel coming out for this movie called Real Rock and Roller, which it does say at the end of this one, which is kind of, you know, yes. But yeah, it's a good movie. It's got some really great scenes. I do love Guy Ritchie. I think he's an awesome director. I love how he kind of speed things up, and he always has these, like, he chooses great locations for these films, you know, really gritty London locations and stuff. This film has probably one of the coolest sex scenes ever in a film. It's kind of like 5 seconds and it's over, but it's really cool how they do it. Thandie Newton is really great. It's really great to see like a strong female character in one of Guy Ritchie's films, because normally all the main characters tend to be male in his films, so seeing Thandie Newton have a big role in this film was great. I love her, and yeah, it's a really good movie. Like I said, it's got a big cast. It's got some really good scenes in it. There's one scene in particular where they kind of have they try and steal this money from a van, and there's these two Russian guys who are kind of like in charge of looking after the money, and there's just this awesome kind of like fight scene, chase scene thing that happens halfway through the film, which I loved. I do want to watch this again, actually. Since watching it, I'm thinking about it, I really do like this film. It is very good. It just falls short of reaching the same height that Snatch did, because Snatch is probably one of my favourite Brit flicks of all time. It was really weird seeing a movie by Guy Ritchie that didn't have Jason Statham in. I thought that was quite strange. I think if Gerard Butler hadn't been the character, hadn't been in this, his character could easily have been replaced with Jason Statham. Yeah, because it's kind of the same sort of role that he normally plays. But Gerard Butler seems to be in a lot of films lately. I do kind of like him, and he's pretty good in this. But the other cast are really great too. And like I said, it's got Jeremy Piven and Chris Bridges. Jeremy Piven was in, I think he was in Smoking Aces, I'm not sure. And Chris Bridges is that rapper guy, I can't remember his name. Yeah. But this is a good movie. Definitely check this one out. I'd probably give this one a low 8 out of 10. It just gets an 8 from me, I think. I did really like it. I do really like Guy Ritchie, and I hope that I know he's doing the Sherlock Holmes movie, which looks incredibly good. It's got Jude Law and somebody else in it, but it does look really good, and I am very much looking forward to seeing that. And hopefully when he's finished doing that, he'll do The Real Rock and Roller, which is the sequel to this. Yeah, this movie is really good. It's got some great twists. Definitely check this one out.